What's good, everybody, and welcome. If it's your first time viewing, welcome back. If you're returning, I'm the Nappy Dreamer.
And I'm Kia Blaine.
And we are the
The
Melanin
Melanin
Mindset.
Mindset.
So, before we dive right into this thing that we normally do, we want you all to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I mean, we are so close we can taste it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We need to hit that first milestone of 100 subscribers. So, if you are viewing right now and you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe, okay? Follow us on Facebook, The Melanin Mindset, YouTube, The Melanin Mindset, Twitter, Melanin Mindset _, Instagram, Melanin Mindset _, and of course on the tick of the talk at The Melanin Mindset. So tune in with us in every outlet that we have via social media, and you will be able to keep up with all that we have going on here.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so friend, go ahead and do what you do.
So good evening, good people. Welcome back. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Today we will be talking about the Black family dynamic, basically growing up Black. Now, you guys know that there are some unique, we can go ahead and call them stereotypes, but stereotype leads it to be not true. And most of these is probably true 99% of the time. So we just wanted to sit back, kick in, and have a conversation. And, let's talk about growing up Black, growing up in the Black household. Our Black families tend to operate slightly differently than other non-melanated families. And when we say melanated, what's funny, though, is like, I can only speak to our experiences and my experience being Black. But I have talked to my brown brothers and sisters, them other melanated peoples. They got some pretty unique situations going on within them too. So if we have any of those, our Hispanic community or Indian community on, I'd love to hear your feedback and some unique characteristics of growing up melanated.
Right. I heard some pretty interesting things myself.
Yes. So we're going to start off the way we always start off with a good old definition for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and define family for the sake of this conversation. Family is a group of one or more parents and their children living together as a unit. Also, the definition number 2 is a descendant of a common ancestor. But we're going into this really talking about the family dynamic of who's in the house and how things go down in said household.
All right, so like Kia said, she heard some pretty cool things. I did as well. If you participated in any way, shape, or form, thanks to you in advance, okay? Because you just might hear your growing up Black story tonight. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive into it. You already defined what family is. So we talked about different family dynamics, like 2-parent households versus single-parent households.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think there's a difference, of course, but I don't think it's as big of a difference as a lot of people put pressure upon. like that you're gonna turn out better or worse because you had two parents versus only having one. I mean, I grew up in a single parent household. I definitely still had communication with my father, but my mama raised us. My mama made sure we became upstanding citizens and kept us out of trouble and things and such. So shout outs to moms. That applause was for moms.
That was for her, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, unlike what Kia shared, I actually grew up in a two-parent household, and I would agree. The only shock value by comparison that I ever really think stood out when I was growing up, friend, had to be the fact that when we got ready to eat, it was like every man for themselves. It
Mm.
was like if I went over to like friends' houses or something like that, which again they ain't really let us eat at everybody's house. But
Yeah.
the handful of times I can count that I went to a friend's house that maybe didn't have a father in the home, or something like that, it was literally a free for all when it came time for dinner. Like there was no organized construction. Now I'm not saying that in single parent households there's no organized construction when it comes to dinner.
What you trying
I
to
just,
say? What you
I just
trying to
want to
say?
clear that
We
up,
just running
okay?
around eating like animals because ain't no daddy in the house. Is that what you trying to say, friend? I don't think that's what you're trying to
That's
say.
definitely not what I was trying to say. What I
So
was
okay,
saying
in
was like,
comparison, then what was your experience then?
so when I was growing up, my dad, I told my husband the other day, I had just shared with him. I was like, when I was a kid, man, it was any given time my dad could show up at the school. You could look
Mm-hmm.
up and look back, and he was there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At any event, for example, I was in a play in middle school, Black History play in middle school, and I remember looking out into the audience, and my dad was there with a folder and like a file folder, and he was wearing all but his blazer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like he showed up literally everywhere, and people would make it like this big thing, but to me, it was just normal. Like that dad would come. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay. They was making it
Yeah.
a big thing that your dad was in. No, but I was
Yeah.
asking about the eating wise. You
Oh,
said the
you mean
biggest
eating
difference.
wise? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the
So
biggest
what?
thing was we waited till my dad got home. Like, but my dad used to get home at a reasonable time. But we wait till he got home, and then we all sat down together and had dinner.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
okay.
it wasn't just like, okay, dinner is done. When you get ready to eat, go eat. Like, no, we actually sat down and ate together. Like when dad came home from work, he put all his whatever down and so on and so forth, and we just went straight to the dining room and we would eat. And sometimes it would be right when he got home, sometimes maybe a few minutes after he got home, because my dad cooked too.
Mm-hmm.
So but we just sat together, like we all sat together and had dinner. By
How you
comparison,
did that? How long? Like all the way up until you moved out?
we all, for the most part, yeah.
Like I
Even
can
as my
honestly say,
siblings
like
left and
now,
stuff like that.
like with us, with my husband and I and our kids, when they were smaller, definitely we all sat at the table and ate together. Now it's kind of a yeah, you because all our schedules are different. They work, they go to school. My husband works at night. I work from home. So now it's definitely a free for all. It's like if you want to eat, you better get in where you fit in. But when they were smaller, we definitely did have like we all sat down. Even when my husband worked at night, we sat down and ate together, even if
Mm.
he wasn't home. So
Yeah, no, my
yeah.
mom would cook dinner especially if my mom was cooking dinner. She would cook dinner, everybody come and eat. We sat down to
Mm-hmm.
eat, and then the kitchen literally would close. Like dinner,
Mm-hmm.
after you finished dinner, she cleaned up the kitchen, and that was
And
it.
that was it.
That
The
was
kitchen
it.
is closed.
It's done. So
Mm-hmm.
come eat now if you about to eat, type of thing. Not that, and it sounds terrible, but it's not like she was starving us or nothing. Everybody was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know anybody who like grew up in a single family household with a dad where it's just the dad and then you think it was any different than like single parent households where it's just the mom?
I can't think of anybody who lived in a single parent household with just a dad.
Mm, me
Mm-mm.
either. But I can't say this. There was a period of time where I worked nights and my husband was home with the children.
Mm.
That was interesting. I'll just say this. We don't do things the same. His meal of choice was usually oatmeal and peanut butter and jelly.
Not oatmeal,
So
peanut butter
it
and
was
jelly.
definitely different with daddy being home with the kids versus mommy being home with the kids. I
Mm.
will say that was definitely different.
All right. So what about stay-at-home mom versus working mom?
Yeah, there's a so I've been both. I myself have been both. And I will say, as the stay-at-home mom and being amongst a bunch of other stay-at-home moms, because I was a working mom first, I always felt out of place with these chicks. Like they have like, for lack of a better word, control issues. Like where everything got to be done at this time in this specific order in this way. I have never, working or not working mom, have never been. I'm more of a go with the flow type of chick. So, I might have a plan, but if it don't work, I'm flexible. I'm like, well, dang, that didn't work. Plan B, plan C. I don't mind.
You have a
But
plan
these,
L, and it's all
what
right.
let plan A go wrong with these stay-at-home moms? It was not a joke. It was like the end of the world if things didn't go the way they planned it to go. Well, what am I supposed to do now? We were supposed to have a meeting and the kids were supposed to play.
Oh,
And
I'm
it was like,
done.
okay, well, they not now. So do something else with your kids. But I will say hats off to people who are super organized. Like, y'all got that. I wasn't that mom. I wasn't that mom.
I quit. I quit. All right. So in my family, my mom stayed home until I started school.
Oh wow.
She stayed home till I started school. And then I still have memories, I can't think of exactly how it went, but I still have memories of being a kid and my mom making my lunch and dropping me off at school. I remember her picking me up from school and coming home
Mm,
with me. So I don't have a clue what kind of schedule this woman was working, but I have memories of her dropping me off at school in the mornings. She packed my lunch in the morning, she dropped me off, and then she come back and pick me up from school. And there were some days dad picked me up too. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? But I distinctly remember even in the time that my mom was working, she still made sure I got to and from school. I was in latter elementary school, like fourth, fifth grade, by the time I
okay.
was riding the school bus.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. I was like fourth, fifth grade riding the school bus, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom, she wasn't a stay at home mom till I was in the fourth or fifth grade. But I'm just
Okay.
saying I wasn't riding the school bus until about fourth or so. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
My mom
So
always worked. My mother always worked for as long as I could remember. She always worked. And which I mean at times left us home, to fend for ourselves for certain things. But I used to look at kids the same age as us and just couldn't figure out how they couldn't do certain stuff. Like you just gonna starve until your mom get home? Like why don't you know how to cook a meal? Why don't you know how to prep for yourself?
we
Why
were
don't
efficient in our home.
Yeah, like I didn't understand that from the kids whose moms was home all the time. I felt as though like even though I never felt like we lacked anything, but I definitely felt like we were smarter than them because we knew how to take care of ourselves.
Listen, don't I can't we can't speak for all children who have a mom at home all the time because truth be told is we was cleaning, we was making up our beds, we was cooking meals for ourselves, we were taking
Hmm.
care of us until they got home. So we didn't experience that deficit in my
Yeah,
house.
of
That we didn't
because
have that
mom was home and
deficit.
mom did everything. I don't know. I still don't even know that. I know black. I just feel like we're equipping our children. We're gonna make our kids work for the most part.
Whole facts, whole fact. So oldest versus youngest. See, it's easy for easier because it was you and your brother, and then of course I know you have other siblings too. So oldest
Hmm.
versus youngest.
Mm, I. What do you mean? Like as it applies to what?
I don't know. It just says oldest versus youngest. Boy children versus girl children.
Well, I don't know. Like I don't know. For us, like you said, it was just me and my brother. So for it was a little period of time where I felt like I had to be more responsible than he did. But that didn't last long because the gap between us is only 3 years. So like when we were in elementary school, he was in kindergarten and I was in fifth grade. Of course, I was more responsible I had to make sure I got my brother home. Don't let nobody mess with your brother, that type of thing. But then as we got older, because our ages are close, it wasn't so much a big, you're the oldest, you're the youngest, that type of thing. But I will
Okay.
say, like with my kids, I always tell my kids, as they get older, you're gonna see the younger one gonna get more benefits than you did. Cause I'm learning along the way. I feel like the youngest one ends up with the better lifestyle. Because you're like, okay, that didn't work with the first child. Let me switch things up with this next one. And
Tragic.
I just kept adjusting as life went on. So yeah, the little one gonna live her best life.
Oh wow. I grew up. My oldest brother is 5 years older than me, and I apparently that created for a giant gap, and even all the way down to my brother that's right before me, 2 years ahead of me,
Mm.
2.5 years ahead of me. Um, Growing up, it definitely was a huge weight on that's your older brother or your older sister, and you should listen to what they say, type of thing. Like
Mm.
they definitely had a level of authority in the
So
house.
you're the youngest.
I was the youngest coming up until about 13. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
and I'm the
so,
oldest, so
like
I don't
in
know.
my
I never
house,
had none of my siblings ever challenged me. They just knew.
girl, listen, can we get real for a second? Okay?
Hmm.
Let's get real for a second. I think I told you this story, Fred. I was like, man, growing up, everything that came in a set of four was what was going down in my house. We was the Power Rangers, okay? We were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, y'all. Anything that came in sets of four, I kid you not. So like even even down to what cereal you were getting. I want to say I told you this. You know how oatmeal has four flavors in the multi-flavor box, and I'm about to
Hmm.
put all these jokers on Front Street right now. All right,
Hmm.
so you know the peach for most people is like the favorite, right? Oh yeah, we were the full cast of the Wiz, y'all. That's my sister down there. All right, so everybody's favorite one usually is like peaches and cream, right? And I'm telling you, I could put her on the spot right now, and I bet you she could tell you what flavor everybody ate. My oldest brother would always get peaches and cream because not only was it the best flavor, but it was 4 packets. So he got to have all four.
Oh
Okay?
wow.
My sister's favorite, the one that's commenting over there, she used to always take the blueberry. And then my brother that's right above me used to always get strawberry. Do you know what that left me with?
The original or the maple?
Banana. Banana. Listen, y'all, they used to give me banana, and that's all I could have too. And I had to get stuck with the banana flavor because that was what was left over after the oldest ones got it. And then there's also things like, okay, when you're at the table and we're eating dinner, right?
Mm.
If like depends on what dinner was though. It was too many of us. It definitely was. Depending on what dinner was. So it's like, all right, let's say we was having spaghetti, right? And let's just I'm just making it up, right? Spaghetti, let's call it my oldest brother's favorite meal, right?
Okay.
So we didn't grow up super like wealthy or anything, it was enough. We had enough. And so my brother, maybe spaghetti's his favorite meal. So
Hmm.
everybody gets their plate of spaghetti, right? And then there's no more extra spaghetti left. But then, for some reason or other, my brother right above me couldn't finish his spaghetti, right? And
Hmm.
so I say, bro, can I get your spaghetti? You know what I'm saying? Because I want some more spaghetti. But it was like this big thing. No, it goes to the oldest brother first. Do you want the spaghetti? And these were things that just happened. And it just carried on. It just happened, okay? So
Interesting.
those were different things that just kind of the hierarchy was like a thing in the house for some reason. Like I was at the bottom of the totem pole. Okay? And
Okay.
so
Okay.
just yeah, so
Yeah.
that
No, it
that's
was
kind
just
of
me and my brother, so everything just got split down the middle.
and see that's easy when it's going three ways. It's so easy when
Yeah.
it's going three ways. But yeah, and my sister said banana is her favorite. Now
Now banana
banana's her
is her
favorite.
favorite.
Likely
That's
story.
funny.
Likely story. So the next point that we have here, and we're gonna ask the viewers, y'all can chime in as well and let us know. Was it a thing in your family? What happens in the house stays in the house.
That was definitely my mama thing. I better not tell her business.
Period.
at all. It ain't matter if
Ever.
it ain't matter if we ran out of toilet paper. I better not tell nobody we ran out of toilet paper. Had people thinking I'm broke. Like, no, you better not. You better not tell my business.
Oh my gosh.
And then
That
it
that was
like growing up, it was so hard because as a child trying to figure out what was actually her business. Cause it's my house too. I live there too. So ain't some of
right.
it me just telling my own business?
Facts.
No. No. If it went on in her house, it's her business. And don't be telling her business. I twist my
Please don't.
ankle and told somebody. Because it happened in her house, well, her business. And I shouldn't have told nobody.
Friend, you knew better. That was your mama's business.
But
You
it was
knew
my
better.
ankle. It was my ankle.
No, you can't be telling your mama
I
business.
can't be telling my business. No, but on some
Oh
real stuff,
man.
like I feel like that was something that was so driven into so many black families. Like, you better not tell my business. And I even remember at a time where let me tell you something, my kids didn't get the memo because they tell all my doggone be. I'm glad I don't do no crimes. Because child, the detectives would have had an easy time finding me because one of my kids would have ratted me out. But
Oh.
I remember when they were really small, something happening, and that little son of mine, my oldest son, got on the phone with my daddy and just told everything. And I felt myself about to get upset with him, and I had to pause and be like, you know what? If something was really wrong and they needed to be comfortable enough to tell somebody that we need help, I want them to be able to say, let me call my granddaddy, let me call my auntie, let me call somebody and tell them mommy tripping. Or, not that that would happen, but I mean, just think about it. Like, think about if your child is in the household and then all of a sudden, I'm gonna use this as an example because this is happening to one of my clients. The doctor changed her medication, and all of a sudden the medication was causing her to have some adverse mental reactions, like she would get angry, and then it took a while for her to figure out that it was the medication. But can you imagine if that child felt endangered or not safe at home, but because I've instilled in my child, you better not tell my business, I'm at home losing my mind on this new medication and my child is too afraid to reach out for help?
Mm,
Or even like, say you get sick in the house, but you done told your kids you better not tell my business. And you could
facts.
be in the house dying, but because
Right.
you so prideful and telling these kids, don't tell my business, don't call nobody, my business is my business, and they don't know what to do. Especially when you think about a kid that's somewhere between the ages of 7 and 12. Like,
Facts.
they take what you tell them to heart. There's sometimes they don't have the mental capacity to distinguish and say, well, this is a situation where I should ignore what my mama said. In those ages, if your mama said it or your daddy said it, like, I need to do it. But they don't know how to distinguish and go, well, maybe this is one of those situations where I shouldn't. So I feel like it's our responsibility as parents to, like, yes, you want to tell them, like, don't go around, you know, advertising all of our household doings, but at the same time, like, if you need to get safe, that it's okay to call, grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, whoever.
Right. Establishing
Hmm.
those safe people to talk to.
Yes.
I'm gonna just say I was super guilty. I was always told not to say stuff that was happening in my mama's house, and it was a perpetual cycle for me.
Mm.
Apparently, I didn't get the message, and
You kept being a violator of the code.
bruh, listen, I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes you just gotta get junk off your chest. Okay, I'm sorry, and I've been like that since apparently I was young. Okay,
Mm.
because
Mm.
I mean with no hesitation.
No, real
and
shocking.
and I used to,
Not
girl,
you, really?
yep, yep, girl, please. She know I don't talk to nobody, but it's probably because of that. That's
Mm.
probably why I don't tell nobody nothing.
Mm. My mama told me not to tell our business.
Listen, but as a kid, seriously speaking, though, I did. I would, if it was something that was on my chest, like you said, deciphering what was mama's business and what was not mama's business was just something I was not game to work
If
out.
you
Like,
ain't
this
she
is too
want to work
much.
it
This is too much. Like, I
out.
can't. And it was definitely a rule in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying there was no repercussions for me telling mama's business, but what I'm saying is I was bad at not doing it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I was bad at not doing it, and I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I was not good at it. I just wasn't. But it's I feel like even though my husband and I, we don't currently have children, but it is definitely something that comes to mind. Like, in
Mm-hmm.
the event that something is going on, I need them to be able to contact somebody. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? If it's something I don't want them to be telling on the outside, well, I'm not gonna let that joker see it on the inside.
Why was that such a thing though?
I have no idea. Please comment down below if you
Like
know at
I
all
need the
why
moms, the
that was.
older
Yes,
moms to chime in. Like
yes.
why was that such a thing? Like what was the big concern of telling your business?
Like,
I
help me understand
I feel like sometimes a lot of us miss out. What they say, closed mouths don't get
that.
fed, or you miss out on a lot of blessings because you
Right?
don't open up or express what's going on and have somebody to help you. And it's not to say like you need to go out and ask people for help when you're struggling.
Right.
It's just that a lot of people out here on their knees praying to God, and God is trying to bring people into your life to be that intercessor or that help. Like, and but you so busy trying to keep your business, you missing out on blessings that could have came your way.
Big facts. That's a whole fact. And then
Yeah.
also, if you just get like a little bit deeper, and yes, if you're an older parent, okay, older parent, we're looking for, what would you say, 50 plus, somewhere out there,
That
like
you know
a
who you are. You older
facts. You
parents,
know who
y'all
you
know who
are.
you are.
Okay, please go ahead and comment down below and let us know, why was that a thing? Why was what goes on in my house stays in my house? What caused that to be such a thing?
Because honestly, for me, I'm gonna tell you what I thought it was. Like for me, I figured, my mom was a single parent, and people already are kind of judging you, like, oh, she don't have no husband, or the daddy not in the house, the kids probably gonna be out of control. So I always felt as though like it was because she was kind of she was she forgot the message because I was telling you what
She
because you
said
tell
she guess we
oh
forgot because we telling their business now.
we didn't get the memo because we up here telling the business now. I just figured it was because
Oh,
as a single parent, you like, no, don't have these people thinking that I'm slipping, like that. Like I got control over my household. Don't go out here talking because people gonna look at you in a certain way. But then, like in the back of my mind, is like, so what? Who cares? They ain't doing nothing for us, and it ain't gonna change the fact they ain't doing nothing after they find out our business.
valid. Oh boy, listen, I'm waiting on somebody to answer the question. We just got fussed at in the chat. We need to know why it was that we could not tell what was going on in the house. But not to get extremely deep, but it always ends up going there somehow or other. But it's like, what if something happened in the house? It's like you're telling them not to tell what happens in the house, but really let that marinate. Like, you can't say anything that goes on in the house. So even if something goes on in the house that you're not okay with, something that makes you uncomfortable or
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel unsafe,
Mm-hmm.
you can't say anything.
No,
Just
because
saying.
that's their business.
That's their business. So the next thing that it says on here, before we go too far, the unspoken rules. Y'all go ahead and drop your favorite unspoken rule in the house. What was your unspoken rule? What was the unspoken rule in your house, Kia?
I feel like all the rules were very much spoken. I can't think of an unspoken one. I think they were all very much spoken. I remember staying home, and I think we passed the statute of limitations, so y'all can't arrest my mama if I tell this. But when we used to stay home by ourselves,
You about to tell her business. She just got on us.
right, when we used to stay home by ourselves, it was that whole don't answer the door for nobody and don't answer the phone. I don't care who it is. My mama say, I don't care if Jesus comes to the door, you better not open that door. And I remember this one time my grandfather came to the house and we did not open the door. And he was so upset. And I just was like, Papa, my mama said, don't. I don't care who you is right now. My mama said, don't open this door. I'm not opening this door. And then if she used to call, we couldn't answer the phone. So we had like a code for calling. So she would be like, the phone, if you hear the phone ring 3 times and hang up, and then I call back, and then we can answer.
Mm.
So other than that, we ain't answer that phone and we ain't answer that door. I don't care who it was.
Bro, you could not go out the front door.
Mm-mm.
Do not go out that house. They not home, don't go out the house.
Nope.
Now, listen, this is the episode to put all the stories out there. So my sister that commented right here talking about if your siblings is fighting, so are you. Facts. I'm gonna tell y'all a story right now about that hood rat.
That might be a good unspoken one, because you better not come home and you was there and one of your siblings got beat up. Where was you at? Well, wait, how did it turn on me? She was the one fighting.
Listen, they never told us directly to fight, but they did not chastise us if we were protecting one another. Okay? So they never said that. That's definitely was an unspoken thing in my house. I'm gonna tell y'all about my sister right there, the one who she said it, so it opened the door. Okay, so I'm about to tell their business. Then we're gonna go to a commercial for a second.
Okay.
All right, so but yeah, about that one. So my sister, she got into it with somebody. She came home, she was angry. Okay, she was big mad, y'all. She came in the house and she was ready to go. My oldest brother went out the house. My brother right before me went out the house. I was like this when Daddy got home. I don't know. So what had happened was, and I'm like, I don't know the whole story, so I'm just trying to piece things together because I'm like, because your kids is missing. So somebody was messing with Leary. Alvin went and Leary had grabbed something, and then next thing you know, it's just a whole big mess. And Daddy had to come home because I want to say it was my oldest brother who called, but somebody started the call system to Daddy. And Daddy came home because there was chaos going on surrounding that one. Another situation, I was on the bus. Somebody tried my life, y'all. I got off the bus. I let it rock. I go in the house. She wasn't letting it rock. This girl grabbed a baseball bat and was ready to go across the street, okay? When this girl was yelling at me from the school bus, but, you know, I'm like, she ain't throw hands, bruh. Like, I'm that temperament. She ain't throw no hands, bruh, so we good, you know? So I'm going in the house. This one, okay, she's going to go and say, well, what's going on? What's happening? Because this nut was still outside hollering. She's like, what's happening? This girl goes and grabs a metal baseball bat, and she's like, let's go. And if it wasn't for my dad coming downstairs, it would have been a wrap.
Oh, wow.
It would have been a wrap. If it wasn't for my dad coming downstairs, it would have been a wrap. She was not wrapped tight when we was growing up. And it's like sharing these stories about the black families and what we did growing up. Yeah, it definitely shows that. She was not wrapped very tight at all.
Yeah. I remember, I think I got in trouble one time. Well, my brother was very obnoxious when he was younger. And he used to be obnoxious and messing with my friends and stuff like that. And I think one of my friends had hit him, and I ain't do nothing about it. And that trouble I got into when I got home, from that day forward, everybody knew not to mess with my brother. I don't give a daggone what he did. Now, I think I got into a fight with one friend over my brother, and then when I got home, I beat him up for making me have to fight my friend. But I wasn't about to get in trouble with their mama. I'll scrub the ground with my friend before I get in trouble with my mama again. Sorry, friend. You're going to have to catch these hands.
I can't fool with you, man. So Naya is saying, I think it's more of adult business versus child business than don't talk about family business. So basically stuff that has nothing to do with you is what you don't have no business talking about. So if it have something to do with you, you got to pass.
Yeah, needless to say, she one of them new generation kids because, you know, for us, it was any business that happened in the house.
Right. If it happened in the house, it was their business.
If it happened in the house. If the cat shit on the floor instead of in the kitty litter box, that was her business, and I better not tell it.
Because Because if you would have messed around and told that means that your cat be freely using the bathroom all over the house. Her house so nasty. Well, y'all, we're going to run into a commercial here. As we shared last week, we were so excited to tell you that we are official brand ambassadors for Deanu Apparel. So I'm going to go ahead and run this commercial one time for the one time, and we hope you check it out. What's good, Mindset family? The Melanin Mindset is thrilled to announce we are the newest brand ambassadors for Deanu Apparel. Deanu Apparel is a Black-owned apparel company that offers trendy African-inspired prints in each and every garment. They're offering our listeners 15% off their purchases just by using promo code Melanin Mindset. There's something for him, there's something for her, and there's even something for the kids. So head right over to Deanu.com using the description link down below, or just simply enter Melanin Mindset at checkout and save today. All right, y'all. So go ahead and check out that link down in our description below, and you can save 15%, and that includes clearance. 15% off of your purchase at Deanu.com. Check them out. I'm telling you, it is for certain worth it. And we are going to be bringing you all some clips as well showing us in our new Deanu apparel because my shipment came. I'm excited.
Yeah. What's the code for the 15%? Melanin Mindset?
The 15% is either use the description link down below or Melanin Mindset at checkout.
Yeah.
Okay. So either or, use Melanin Mindset at checkout or use the coupon, the link down in the description. 15% clearance included. So let's talk about the kids in the house though. The kids in the house. Do they have an opinion? Do their feelings matter? Growing up as a kid, what did you think? And if you're viewing us, go ahead and comment down below.
I know I just noticed my brother talking about some false information. No, it wasn't false. It made me fight my friend.
Siblings have something to say tonight, clearly. I'm about to speak my truth, okay?
Yeah. I don't know, like, growing up, I didn't feel like I had an opinion. Like, I didn't even attempt to have one. Like, it just was, I was just there. Whatever was supposed to happen was going to happen. Like, I tried my best not to feel or have an opinion. Because I just didn't think it was going to go well. So, I didn't get opinions or thoughts or feelings until I was 19.
Not you didn't have feelings. Nope. Shoot. Nope. I definitely had. I had all the feelings. Were they voiced? No. But I definitely had a lot of feelings. I was probably the kid who, I used to talk quite a bit. I used to go visit my aunt every summer, so I spent my whole summers in New York with my auntie. Mm-hmm. And so when I was there, I used to say everything that I could think to say. Like, all of my words had to be used at that time. Okay. But if we were in gatherings and stuff like that, I would be more so like I'm still like that to this day, though. It's bad. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll get together and I'll find a spot somewhere in the corner and sit down. I'm okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Kinda, like, I feel like in the Black family, we don't really, we pretty much tell kids, like, it's kind of like, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to feel. It's going to be nice. You're going to love it. Like, that type of thing, rather than,
we're going.
Our other less melanated, and we see this quite often, even in public. Well, what do you want to eat, Johnny? And we don't give a daggone what Johnny want to eat. This is what's for dinner.
Listen, we having fish and grits. You eat fish and grits and you're going hungry.
Or you're going to be hungry. Those are your options. This
and you better not complain about being hungry either. Yeah. She says, agreed. We were taught a child was to stay in a child's place unless asked. Yeah. And I'm going to just be real. We weren't asked very often.
We weren't asked. We weren't
asked very often. There.
We stayed in that child's place. Probably until we were about 25. We stayed in that child's place.
Well, listen, I'm not about to say how old I am.
Still be in a child's place.
I'm still in a child. That's what I'm about to say. I'm still in a child's place. I'm fine over here. Let me stay in a child's place. I have an older cousin, and she told me I remember, I think I was like 16 or 17. No, I might have even been 18. I think I might have been 18 because I made a comment
Hmm.
about being grown. And the only tip I'm going to give is that we share the same birthday. But this cousin in particular, she says to me, "You're not grown till you buy your own drawers." And
Hmm.
I was like, hmm? So when I bought my first, I was working, you know what I'm saying? And nobody had to give me that money and I bought my drawers, I was like, I'm grown.
I'm grown. You took that to heart, huh?
I'm grown, okay? Don't say nothing else to me. I'm grown because I just use my hard earned money to buy my own drawers.
Okay.
So that cousin that said that to me, it stuck with me and it was hilarious. Cause I tell everybody, I'd be like, "Bruh, listen, you ain't grown till you buy your own drawers." Like, and it's
Hmm.
just like it really stuck. It really, really stuck. So, do you consider or think about the impact that your words have on your kids? And I'm asking you, as a mom, present day, do you consider the impact that your words have on your kids?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know I am definitely the parent who will, I say whatever I'm thinking at the time. And but I'm also the parent that will go backtrack if I feel like maybe it wasn't received the way I intended it for to be received. So I will go back and talk to them again, like, well, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. How did you feel about what I said? Okay. And then I seek to have that clear line of communication because I want them to understand where I'm coming from, and I want to understand where they're coming from as well. Because they're kids, they're my kids, but they are also going to grow up and be adults in a world where they need to function as such.
Facts.
So I think it's important as an adult, because we've been there, done that, and we're trying to communicate to a younger person that okay, this is what's going to work, this is not going to work, but also too understanding that times are different. So what might have been like where we say you got to do this way, it might be different for them. I'm gonna give you an example. I know when I used to come home from school, you came home from school, you sat at the table, you did your homework. Like
Facts.
nothing else happened until after I finished my homework. You wasn't eating, drinking, looking at nobody's TV, playing with no toys until that homework was done. Now, of course, going into parenthood, I adopted those same things. But I started to notice it was not working. It wasn't working for us. I was about to kill this kid. This kid was crying. We okay. So for me, I had to adjust. And each one of my kids are different. But let just giving an example, this one kid, okay, I had to let him come home, unwind, get a snack, go wash up, change your clothes, then come back and let's address this homework. Because if not, it was a battle, you know? So I those types of things I feel like, I had adjusted, but also too, yeah, I remember that. I'm done. No, she meant to hurt our feelings. That's how you feel, Anaya?
Oh Lord, I can't deal. I cannot deal. So, Denise commented and said the problem today is adults talk too much around children. They are always listening, especially when we're on the phone. Oh my gosh, I think that might be valid, just a little bit. Like how I told you the whole what happens in mom's house, whatever. I'm like, well, why
Hmm.
why can't you just have those things that you don't want us to repeat not happen in front of us?
Yeah.
And I know it's almost impossible to streamline it to that extent. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if it's something really that is that much you don't want it to hear, why are you not protecting it from being heard?
From being heard or being seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it is true. I could co-sign to that. I know some examples, some in particular situations where there's conversations that just shouldn't have been had with the kid, around the kid, to the kid, have the kid any part of what was going on,
Yes.
because it's like, let's just face facts. There's nothing they can do to help solve the problem or even be part of the solution. So with that, these
But when you
conversations don't
when
need
you
to be in front of
expose
them.
them, then they feel like they're part of it
They
now.
feel like my 2 cents need to go in right here. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And then that's where that imbalance comes in. Remember I had pulled up the different types of parenting. I don't know if you saw them on here. We were talking about the gentle parenting.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so with black families, I saw a TikTok was it today or yesterday? Either way, I sent it to you, so you got to go back and watch these, okay? But there's
Okay.
a lady on there who says she wants to change the way black people parent to call it proud parenting. So the more melanated people are proud
Versus what?
parents versus
Versus.
gentle parenting. Because what she said is that she does not agree with gentle parenting, but at the same time, she does not agree with chastising the child for every single solitary
Well,
thing
friend, you
they
got to
do.
tell us what gentle parenting is.
Well, okay, so gentle parenting is being described more or less as child-led parenting. So it would be considered,
So, gentle parenting is not parenting at all.
if you look at the technicalities, it would be more like permissive is the actual term. So the actual term is called permissive parenting, where they let the child be the guide and they're just kind of like, okay, I'm going to make sure I protect these things from getting to you while you explore. You know? Then you have authoritative.
Girl, that's I'm gonna say a nasty word.
Just
Sorry.
hold on. So then you got authoritative, where you allow the child and you to work together to solve problems.
Okay.
Then you have authoritarian, where the parent is like, this is what it is, this what it'll be, this is that, that's it. And then you have neglectful, kind of where the kid is the free spirit and the parent is working or being a insta mom or whatever, bring the
Mm-hmm.
kid just for the picture and then they go on and do whatever they're doing. That's called neglectful parenting. So
Mm.
permissive parenting is like the equivalent to what they're calling gentle parenting, where you're allowing the child to be the lead. But what I found out from what I was looking at, when you really compare, yes, there is a lot of black homes, or melanated homes, my apologies, melanated homes that are really authoritarian, where it's parent driven. And I can definitely say I grew up in an authoritarian type house,
Mm-hmm.
where it was what mama and daddy say is
Yep.
what you do.
That's what it is.
Period. All
Period.
right. But then what this TikToker was trying to say is she's a proud parent, so she doesn't 100% disagree with
Well, she's
permissive
gonna make up her
parenting.
own category, huh?
Right. But
Okay.
what she describes really sounds like authoritative, where it's like, I set rules because I know this is safe for you.
Mm-hmm.
And me being willing to tell you that you can't do this because you will get hurt if you put your hand on that stove. So I'm
Mm.
not letting you put your hand on the stove. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that is more of like the authoritative style of parenting. And so, but it was just interesting to hear her, because she used an example of gentle parenting. She explained where it was like, let's just throw some names. Sarah and Molly were playing, and Sarah is building a tower with her blocks, but Molly bumps into Sarah and the blocks get knocked over.
Okay.
So Sarah looks at Molly and calls Molly stupid and falls on the ground and starts to cry. So the mom is coming in. Mom comes in then and soothes Sarah, calms Sarah down, and you rub her back until she's good. That is how gentle parenting is supposed to work. Because Sarah's distraught because Molly accidentally knocked over her things and she had to have a tantrum because Molly, had accidentally knocked it over. Mind you, she called Molly stupid after this all happened. But we
So
don't ever say a word to
what
Molly.
was Molly doing at this point? Because now I'm just trying to picture the whole.
Right. So mom comes over and mom soothes Sarah. She calms Sarah down.
Because
Because
Sarah's upset.
Sarah had to have a tantrum because Molly accidentally knocked over her blocks. And Sarah's clearly Molly's stupid, because that's what Sarah said. And we're gonna calm, Sarah down. So this lady, she used that example with her kids, and she exchanged the names for her actual children's names, right? And
Okay.
the youngest one is the one who was supposedly having the tantrum and called Molly stupid, right?
Okay.
And the youngest one, she's looking like, but mom, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't hurt her feelings. And she says, point. And then the brother says, but wait, my feelings would be hurt if she called me stupid, though. Why did she call me stupid? It was an accident. I feel bad that she's crying. I feel bad that she's crying. I feel bad that I knocked it over, and I know she was working hard on it, but she called me stupid. And it's like, you went and soothed her. You get what I'm saying? So she showed her children's reaction to her reading this out of her school book where it was talking about the parenting and things like that. So I'm guessing she's going to school for something to do with that, right? But yeah,
Yeah,
what do you
that's
think
all
about that?
interesting. Cause okay, in the black household, we know everybody would have got beat, all the blocks would have got put away, and then when that just would have been the end of the story. Everybody go to bed, put the blocks away. Now you can't play with nothing. Now all of y'all go in there and call each other names because it's time to go to bed.
I can't. I can't.
Cause why are we? But the thing about it, I also feel like a lot of it is we're reactive. We're just reacting to what the situation is at the time. So it would say no matter how we look at it, we came from structure. Parenting today seems to be characterized to make excuses or criticize what someone else is doing and what others like. And that's what I was gonna kind of say. Like listening to the description of each one of those categories of parenting, like at some point you're one of these parents.
Facts.
You can't be an effective parent without being one of those types of parents at some point in your child's life, depending on what the situation is and what's going on and who the kid is. Like, I don't even get that because even if, let's say, I adopted the authoritative or whatever you said method, like, is that going to be how I address every situation with my kids? No.
I think they put those categories that way more or less to kind of like, oh, it looks like I have auto tune on. Y'all bear with me.
I did
All
get a
right.
little weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I had auto tune going for a second there, y'all. But no, sincerely speaking, like I would say as a child coming up, primarily authoritarian, parent driven was the structure in my home. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Definitely, but present day, I agree with Stan where he's saying like these categories are literally just to point out where other people lack.
Well, other
But
people
then,
lack or come
yeah,
up with an excuse as to why you don't do such and such or whatever.
right.
And
Like, okay, my kid makes all the choice. Oh no, I'm a permissive parent. No,
yeah.
you're a crazy parent.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, forgive me for that, but I'm just saying, like you're going after just allowing whatever to happen. If they get hurt, you soothe. You do you give when they cry. If they want, you provide. You are
And
basically
like
letting them run
and
you.
even still, like I always say this, my parenting method towards my 2-year old is going to be a lot different than my parenting method towards my 17-year-old. It's just like, cause that 17-year-old is now on that curve about to turn into an adult. So
Hmm.
I may be more open to hearing, how you feel about the situation because I need to know that as you turn into an adult, you know how to function like an adult and not be a problem in this world or, watching your mental health and things like that. Whereas this 2-year old is just being a butthead and you need to go to bed.
No, little Timmy's
I'm
not
taking
ready to
this
go to bed
tablet. Go
yet.
sit down. No.
No,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
he's
Okay.
not ready to go to bed yet.
I
So,
remember when my baby girl was smaller. The smaller one, you usually make them do the little things like go throw this in the trash or bring me my cup off of the table downstairs and things like that. I remember one time this little person
human.
looked up at me. I started to let y'all fill in the blank. Looked up at me and goes, "Why I got to do all the things you need to do?" So she must have saw the look on my face instantly and regretted her question. But I looked her into her face and I told her, I said, "Well, if I told you to do it, then it means you have to do it. It's not for me to do, it's for you to do." She's okay. And she turned around and walked away because she had already saw I should have knocked on top of her head when she asked me that question.
I'm so done.
But it was
Listen,
like she asked it and regretted it, like all at the same time. So why I gotta do everything you? Well, if I told you to do it, ma'am, it is your task. It's not my
I'm
task.
done. I'm done. Listen, my nieces were at my house. They spent the night over at my house during the weekend, right? And I told them because my dad was saying that they generally take melatonin, they have trouble going to sleep. And so
Hmm.
I told them, I said, I'm not giving you nothing but a dirty look if you don't go to sleep when I send you to bed. And she was like, oh. And then the next morning, mind you, them jokers went to sleep. So the
I bet
next
you they did.
morning, they got up and I was doing their hair. And while I'm doing their hair, the older of the two, she says to me, Auntie, you realize we went to bed last night because you threatened to threaten us? I said, huh? She's like, she said, you threatened to threaten us. I said, what do you mean? She's like, you did. She said, you didn't even actually threaten us, but we just thought you could threaten us, so we went to sleep. I was like,
I'm done.
mind blown, okay?
Uh-huh.
But I bet you them jokers was asleep. And they
Yep.
woke up the next day and they were up at a reasonable time in the day and everything. And they was chilling. They was good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just hilarious that when I was doing her hair, she's like, Auntie. I said, what? She go, you realize you threatened to threaten us and we went to sleep?
I'm done. Not you threatened to threaten us.
I threatened to threaten her, she said. I said, I'm not giving you nothing but a dirty look if you don't go to sleep when I send you to bed. And that's all I'm not giving you nothing.
No.
And so she was like, Auntie, like, I can't deal. I cannot deal.
Have you come across these helicopter parents like that have to be involved and around for every little detail of the child's life? Like when I think of helicopter parenting, like oh, I can't even, you know, it was always this thing like you ever seen where the kid go running across the room. Now in your head, he about to crash. He gonna fall at some point. But a lot of black parents are just wait and let it happen. And then when they fall, see, that's what you get. But the helicopter
Listen.
parent is more like with every step. Oh no, Johnny, be careful. You might
Oh,
get hurt.
yes.
Okay, don't
Yes.
touch that. Oh no, we're gonna play with it like this, or we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, or you need to wear this because it's going to be cold. So make sure you wear it like this. Don't zip it all the way up. Zip it right here. Button this button. Like very overprotective of every little step in their life. Like
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to raise an adult who can't think for themselves.
Right. Can't function on their own.
Yeah, and as a parent too, I realize like sometimes, and my kids they'll say they'll say like I do it to be shady, but I don't be doing it on purpose. But sometimes like if they're going somewhere and they come out and I'll be like, oh, is that what you're wearing? And they're like, well, I guess not. Like, well, I wasn't trying to tell you that you needed to change your clothes, but I did wanted you to really be confident in your choice. So if you felt as though me asking you, is that what you're wearing, made you second guess it, maybe that wasn't what you were supposed to wear. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've seen some helicopter parents. In the hair industry, period, you end up running into a handful of them here.
Oh, the mamas that you got to tell you got to go, or you can take your
Uh-huh.
child and they're not getting their hair done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say, of course, any names, but I used to have a client back when I lived in South Florida, and she had to be all of 5. I'm sure you remember this little girl. I used to
Mm.
braid her hair. She was adopted by a non-melanated parent, but she was a little
Mm-hmm.
melanated girl. And
Mm-hmm.
when she met me, she followed me. The
Yeah.
lady, she met me. I did the little girl's hair. She followed me everywhere, getting that little girl's hair done with me because
Mm-hmm.
I did try to teach her about her hair, but she just was like, "You have such a good hand with her." But the little girl
Yeah.
had been through so much to where it's almost like she was overbearing. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
The little
Uh-huh.
girl did have a past before she was adopted, but she was so overbearing. So I remember putting her in the chair and I set her on top of the cushion, little booster for the kids getting their hair done.
Yeah.
And when I set her on the booster, she was like, "Is that hard? Is she comfortable? Hold on." And she reaches down in her bag. She had a fluffy blanket. She said, "Can she stand up really quick?" And she put a blanket under this child's behind. That wasn't it. Then she came over and stood next to her and held her hand as I was trying to part her hair because she was like, "Is it hurting? Are you okay? Does that hurt? Is that okay? Does she feel that? Is that hurting you?" And I was just like, "Bruh,
So what we not about to do?
listen, after that one engagement, when she did all of that, I had a conversation with her afterwards and I said, "Listen, if you do not feel as though she is safe with me here in this public place, I understand. But what you can't do is
Mm-hmm.
stand right here while I do her hair. That
Mm-hmm.
can't work." So after a while, she kind of started doing it, but from her seat.
I'm so done.
Then after a little bit, you gotta gauge it sometimes because you never know
Yeah.
what the backstory is as to why they helicopter like that.
Yeah.
But after a while, I was able to build that rapport with her where I said, listen, so when you drop off baby girl, I almost said her name, when you
Uh-huh.
drop off baby girl, you gotta go.
That part.
You're gonna have to leave.
You got to
You
go.
know? I'm like, you're gonna have to leave. You can call me every 20, 30 minutes and I'll let you know as soon as she's done, you can come right on back through.
Mm-hmm.
So she built this regimen. Remember the Dillards in the Boynton Mall?
Mm-hmm.
How the Dillards right there had a big circle you could walk around?
Yeah.
So what she did was she would leave out of the salon and just walk right into Dillard's next door, and she'd walk in circles. Walk in circles, walk in circles. And every now and again she'd come out and go around the carousel so she could peek inside. But
Oh
she
my
never
God.
came in and she never bothered us again after that. So, but yeah, that was probably the most extreme situation I have dealt with as far as those helicopter parents. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna share a few of the things that we got from some of our viewers and contributors here, as far as things that were unique to growing up melanated. If you can relate to any of them or you have any stories yourself, go ahead and share them down in the comments as we go ahead and start to close this bad boy out. Okay. Let's see. I got one that says cousins are your best friends.
Mm.
So cousins are their best friends.
Yeah, our
So,
cousins was like, that's basically just an extended sibling. That's a
yep.
sibling that sleeps somewhere else.
Facts, whole facts.
Mm-hmm.
We wore candy curls and white gloves every Easter. We ate whatever was cooked. Aunts and uncles were like second, third, and fourth mama and daddy. Was that
Mm-hmm.
a thing for you?
Yeah, same thing. Like your aunts and uncles was parents that slept somewhere else.
Big facts. If you have any that you connect with or you know, share them down in the chat. Every
Mhm.
family gathering, that's reunions, holidays, birthdays, funerals, graduations, it had to have good food.
We just gotta have good food, period, right? Like I go all day without eating because it ain't nothing I like. I'm like, that don't sound good.
Bruh, my house, I'm sorry, my house equals mama's house. And that's even if daddy lives there.
Oh yeah, no. The house is mama's house. It's always
It's
mama's
mama
house.
house, no matter what. Single parent house, two parent house, you go to daddy house, my house is still mama's house. Like it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, if you say my house, it's mama's
Yeah.
house.
And then
Yes.
once mama become a grandmama, it's big mama house or it's grandmama house. But
Yep.
even if
Granny
granddaddy
house.
there, and he know, he knows all too well. Yeah, this your mama house.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let me see. So I asked my mom. I'm gonna share what my mom said. My mom said when she lived in Palaco, which is our hometown, she said every Thanksgiving they had dinner at her aunt Dorothy's house, and beside the normal meal, which is like turkey, ham, dressing, etc., her aunt Dorothy used to cook possum.
Oh wow,
She said she never ate it, but it was always on the dinner
it was
table
always
along
there.
with her Aunt Carrie's red velvet cake. And she said family back then was really important to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was something else they shared. I have
Oh,
a
playing outside until the street lights came on.
oh, yep, that's one.
Not
Be in the house
until
before the
they
lights
came
came on.
on.
You better
Not
be in
until
before
they
they come
came on. You
on.
better be home before it came on.
Yes.
Don't
Somebody
let it
said
hit you.
somebody said that their cousins are their cousins' cousins. In other words, the
Yes.
cousins on their mama side call their cousins on their daddy side cousin.
We all cousins. Even
Everybody
though that even
cousins.
though that's his cousin, that's our cousin. That's a cousin.
That's a
It's the
cousin.
cousin.
Listen, oh man, somebody in the chat, Denise shared, I was the aunt that took everybody in. I love my nieces and nephews.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Auntie.
Oh man, fried chicken, collard greens, black eyed peas at New Year, every single New Year. And this person went as far as to say, my God, every single one of them.
Yes.
Oh man. Was there anything else you wanted to add that was on the list there, friend? Any other ones you want to call out?
I don't know. I wasn't reading that. Oh, yeah. This was interesting. This one, the having the no brand for everything, having
Yes.
the off brand. That I don't know if it was back to my mama and being that single mother. We had name brand everything.
You telling her business
I'm
again.
telling her business, but we had name brand everything. Like we
Oh,
had, my mom was not buying the store brand ketchup. We had Heinz. We had Nike, we had Adidas, we had name brand everything.
Girl, listen, we rocked Converses before they were cool. That's what we used to wear. We had Converses before they was cool. This person in particular that said no brand name, she's born and raised in Jamaica. And so she said what she means is like, think about Everybody Hates Chris. She
Yeah.
said her cereal, it just said cereal.
Yeah.
Her, she said her cheese, it just said cheese.
Cheese.
She said that was very unique to her growing up,
She had
melanated.
private label food. You could have put
I
your own
can't
name on there.
deal.
You could have put it on there. My mama's house cheese.
I cannot deal. All right, so before we throw it on out the back door and we wrap up this episode, please keep in mind we still have pre-orders for the Melanin Mindset official t-shirt. They are just $25. Go ahead and comment your sizes. We would love to go ahead and start getting those in rotation. So if you want to be an official Mindset family member, find a way to support us and pre-order your Melanin Mindset t-shirt. And next week, you asked, we heard you. We're coming back with part 2 of the Black Church Experience. We'll be featuring KJ. So KJ will be back with us next week for the Black Church Experience part 2. All right, so Black Church Experience part 2. And we will be bringing to you as well next week the remaining topics for the month because you want to hear them. It is Women's History Month, so we are spotlighting women all month long. Let's do this.
Yes, indeed.
Did you want to give them a tip of the week, friend?
Um, I don't know if this is a tip, but I'm just gonna say this as parents and our parents. Like I 100% wholeheartedly believe my mother did the best she could. And even though my dad remarried and had another family, I believe he did the best he could. As parents, I believe if you are any type of parent, you do your best. And your best is going to look different in different situations and to other people. But God knows your heart and just keep doing your best. Be the best parent you could be.
Big
Period.
facts. Period. So with that,
Mm-hmm.
friend, we're gonna go ahead and play them out, girl. We're gonna go on and play them out. So y'all tune in with us next week, same time, same station, wherever you're viewing us from right now. Please go ahead and hit that share one last time before we close off, and we are out. Thank you for viewing. Thank you.